Today I'm making herbed chicken, a 14th century recipe from this cookbook, the Goodman of Paris. I'll be using this cooking pot I made earlier this year, modeled on ones from 14th century Paris, cooking on the raised hearth. The ingredients are chicken with bacon, cooked in water, and herbs. The herbs are sage and parsley. It also calls for hyssop, which is a flower, and one other that we don't know what it is. The translation says cock, which means either shell or rooster. And so adding rooster to chicken seems unlikely, so we're just going with parsley and sage. Add verjuice for a bit of sharpness. This is a green grape juice. Being in a wine growing area, we actually can buy it commercially. A little bit of ginger and a little bit of saffron at the end for color. When you're cooking in an earthenware pot, you never put it empty on the fire. Put in your water. And set it on the hearth, not so close that it gets too hot. Then add your first ingredients. As the pot heats, you move it a little closer and rotate it. The interior is going to stay the same, but the edges of the pot heat differently depending on how close it is to the fire. These stripes, which are very distinctive to the pottery of Paris, may be how you can tell which part has been heated and is closer to the fire. It doesn't take long for the whole pot to heat up, and then I'm going to add the herbs. This is another replica of a 14th century cooking pot. This is a small one from the same source that I made this one. And here you can see red and black stripes, but only on one side. So that's really going to indicate the side of the pot, which is very important when you're cooking on an open fire. As you can see, it didn't take long for the chicken to cook. Medieval recipes very rarely have timings, because if the fire were a little hotter or a little cooler, we wouldn't know how long it would take. So it's cook till done. Add a little verjuice. It's like a light acid, somewhere between, not quite as strong as lemon juice, not as strong as vinegar. And a very little bit of ginger. I'm using fresh ginger. They may have used fresh. They may have used dried. Saffron is a very important spice in the Middle Ages. It's the stamens of flowers. I use it powdered in this nice little mortar and pestle. Color is very important in medieval food. This is to make it yellow. Other colors are green and yellow and orange and red and brown. And all the colors have a meaning to them, tied to the humors. And now our soup is done. And here's the final soup. The recipe says you can serve it hot or cold. If you serve it hot, it doesn't need the chicken. You can just cook it and make it with bacon. I am serving it into a replica sgraffito bowl. It's a type made in Cyprus and found all through Western Europe. And here is our 14th century herbed chicken.